You never thought, why is milk advertising? Do people not know about milk? Milk, it does your body good. What are you, an idiot? It sounds like something Donald Trump would say. Milk does a body good. Next question. Hey guys, welcome back. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and we got into a heated discussion about milk and about being a vegan, and I told him that I drink almond milk, and he was immediately taken aback. He's like, oh my god, almond milk? Almond milk doesn't have any nutritional benefits compared to regular milk? You think regular milk gives you nutritional benefits? Why would somebody think that regular milk gives you any kind of nutritional benefits? That's insanity. In different studies, they show that milk has no real nutritional value. There's a study where they followed about 100,000 men and women around for 20 years and showed that the milk drinkers had a higher rate of bone fractures, cancer, and even death. There's no reason to drink milk. You can't drink it and feel good. You drink it, immediately you just want to sit on the couch. You get the milk farts. Your breath smells like that milky, kind of gross, metallic flavor. There's nothing good about just drinking a glass of milk. It doesn't go good with any food other than cookies. If you have cookies, yeah, you want some milk. But you're not gonna drink a glass of milk and go for a run. You're gonna drink a glass of milk and lay down on the couch and take a nap and then wake up and not be able to poop for the rest of the day. Why do people drink milk and truly believe that they're getting nutrients when dairy itself is terrible for your body? The production of milk is awful for the environment. And it's because the milk industry has invested a lot of money into marketing and advertising. You never thought, why is milk advertising? Do people not know about milk? Everybody knows about milk. Is there somebody out there just eating a dry bowl of cereal like, oh, there's gotta be a better way? No, yet there's all this advertising that goes towards milk, and it's been a powerful tool for the dairy industry for so long. Milk advertising all comes out of the dairy checkoff program, which is all run through the USDA, which of course is influenced through lobbying dollars. The whole point of it is to get you to eat more dairy because the government has constantly had a surplus of milk that it can't sell. Every year the government has to pay dairy farmers hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars due to lost sales and the drop in milk prices. This even goes back to World War I when they overproduced milk for the troops because it was cheap and easy to send them dry powdered milk to keep them from going hungry. But then even into World War II, the government just continued to overproduce milk, so they had to get their hands in there and start selling it. The checkoff program is responsible for us seeing dairy in our lives everywhere. The dairy industry has to remind us to drink milk because people are waking up and simply not drinking milk. Like cheese, for instance, which the government has to pay a lot of money for because cheese consumption is also dropping. So they'll go to fast food places like Taco Bell and Domino's Pizza and get them to add more cheese into their menu items. This is why you see things like double stuffed crust pizza and another Taco Bell wrapped up cheesy meaty beanie thing. So the checkoff program started in 1983. This is when you started seeing milk commercials start coming through. When I was growing up, this was milk, it does a body good. And back then you didn't argue with that. That campaign worked like a charm because people really believed that milk does a body good. You can't even argue with it. The TV said it does a body good. What else do you need? You're gonna argue with the TV? It's 1983. You believe everything that comes out of the TV. Has the television ever lied to you? Any one of these 5 channels you got, if you see something, you better bet your ass off that that shit is true. There's no real big medical terminology, no benefits for any specific body parts, just milk. It does your body good. What are you, an idiot? It sounds like something Donald Trump would say. Milk does a body good. Next question. No, you're not talking. You? No. You? You know what I think of you. Even despite the fact there's really no science that can back that up. There's more science to the contrary. But because there is an actor playing a doctor with a white lab coat who comes out with a checkboard and he says, milk, it does a body good. Then it went to the whole Got Milk campaign, which was, they would do the milk mustaches and you would see all these famous celebrities and athletes like Mark McGuire, Alex Rodriguez, Brett Favre, Patrick Ewing with milk mustaches. Which also doesn't make much sense because they're professional athletes They're the best athletes in the world, amazing hand-eye coordination, yet they can't figure out how to get the milk in their mouth without slobbering all over their face. And now most recently, you have campaigns like the Get Real campaign, and then even most recently, Milklife, which is really an entire campaign all aimed at getting young people more into milk. The whole purpose of milk advertising is to get kids hooked early. This Milklife campaign, they got a whole website, they got commercials, and they're directly going after the competition. Because for a long time, milk didn't have any competition. There was no competition of milk, but now you got all these different milks out there. You got almond milk, cashew milk, hemp milk, rice milk, coconut milk. 15 years ago, nobody knew that you could even get milk out of a nut. Now you just go into a store and you have a whole selection of it, and dairy can't even keep up. That's why they show all these pictures of families and kids having fun, cool little art projects that you can do that are fun. They do all this to bring in the kids, because if you get the kids drinking milk early, then they're gonna drink it throughout their whole lives. It's the same thing cigarettes used to do. Cigarettes, you get kids smoking early, they're gonna be smokers for their whole lives. Meat does the same thing. You get kids eating meat, they're gonna be eating meat for their whole lives. Sugar, the same thing, and on and on. Just get these kids hooked. This is why the Checkoff program pays so much money to get milk into schools. They want milk into school so kids have no other choice but to drink milk. A good amount of the milk that I drank as a kid was in school. The program also encourages kids to drink different flavors of milk. Chocolate milk, strawberry milk. You want a tasty, delicious, nutritious snack? Get some chocolate milk. Then there's a study by the American Academy of Pediatrics which states that simply by avoiding cow's milk in the first few months of their lives, kids significantly lower their chances of developing type 1 diabetes. This is why the American Academy of Pediatrics strictly encourages parents not to give their kids milk at such a young age. The American Academy of Pediatrics also tells mothers not to drink cow's milk while they're breastfeeding. We're getting the kids hooked on the milk, and this is leading to childhood obesity, bone and hip fractures, type 1 diabetes, girls menstruating at a younger age, just all these problems, none of which have been associated with the consumption of almond milk. First of all, the biggest problem with regular milk, aside from all the health issues it causes, it's only good once it hits the shelf for maybe 10 to 14 days. That's it. You have to drink the milk in a certain amount of time. Seinfeld has a whole bit about this. The idea is that you have to drink the milk by the expiration date. And Seinfeld will joke like, have you ever had the milk the day after the day? I've had the milk the day after the day. It tastes awful. There is nothing good about sour milk. But you'll sit there and still drink it because you have a half a gallon left of milk to drink, because who can drink a gallon's worth of milk in less than 2 weeks? But then if you get a carton of almond milk, those expiration dates are like 3-4 months in the future. So you can drink a little bit at a time. You don't have to have it every single day. You might even forget it's in your fridge, open it up a month later, it's still got 2 more months of optimal flavor. And then the dairy industry is trying to tout that milk has no added sugar and that almond milk has added sugar. Look at the nutrition label. There's 13 grams of sugar in every serving of milk. But compared to almond milk you get the added sugar cane. Milk naturally has a sugar called lactose, which oddly enough, about 65% of the human population can't even properly digest. You can't tout a benefit of a thing when only 35% of the people can actually drink it. That's like having a car and getting a flat, but still being happy because the car drives. Lactose is actually used by scientists to induce premature aging in lab animals. And galactose itself has also been linked to Parkinson's and other neurodegenerative disorders. Not to mention the fact that they're comparing a very specific kind of almond milk, which is vanilla flavored, extra sugar added milk. You can buy almond milk without any sugar added. It's an option. You can buy the vanilla flavor, you can buy all the different flavors without any added sugar. And you get less than half the calories in those as well, which is what I personally drink. But if you get it with the sugar, it's also extremely delicious. Much better than that lactose bullshit milk. Then there's this study that I found which shows that while dairy milk actually increases your chances of prostate cancer by 30%, almond milk has been shown to decrease your risk of prostate cancer by 30%. And if worse comes to worse, you can always make your own almond milk. Go to the store, buy some almonds, put them in a blender. All you need is a blender and a cheesecloth. It's literally that easy, and you can make it taste absolutely amazing. You can't do that with dairy milk. You want to make your own dairy milk, you gotta go get a cow, let it live in your apartment, then you gotta milk it like every day. And then you gotta pasteurize it, unless you want to drink the raw milk, which can really fuck you up. People have died because of raw milk. You gotta clean up its shit, and you gotta bring girls back to your place, and you gotta be like, sorry, my cow's here, so we gotta go in my room. Then you also see milk trying to tout its protein benefits. Real milk has 8 grams of protein per serving, and that's really important because almond milk's a little bitch and they don't got no protein. 80% of the protein in milk is casein, which breaks down into casomorphine, which has been directly linked to the development of autism, sudden infant death syndrome, postpartum psychosis, circulatory disorders, type 1 diabetes, depression, and food allergies. This whole protein myth is this propagated thing that goes back years and years ago to this idea that people are malnourished all around the world because they're not getting enough protein, when in fact nothing can be further from the truth. People are actually getting more protein than they really need. Then you have the great protein fiasco. In 1932, a woman named Cicely Williams came up with the idea of kwashiorkor, which is the protein deficiency is what leads to malnutrition. She proposed this idea in 1932 and then spent the last 20 years of her life trying to debunk this entire idea, basically saying that it's not accurate at all. Everybody's obsessed with protein. You gotta get more protein. Get more protein. Make sure you get 30 grams of protein per meal. Make sure you get a gram of protein per pound of body weight, when really none of that's true. In fact, too much protein has been linked to obesity, cancer growth, heart disease. When you take in too much protein, your body doesn't really even know what to do with it. It doesn't utilize it properly. It can be very damaging to your liver, it can be damaging to your kidneys. If there's one thing adults in America don't have, is a protein deficiency. Not to mention, most people are getting their protein through animal products, which will come with their own set of issues, including high levels of saturated fat, cholesterol, which of course can lead to coronary heart disease, cancer, diabetes. The actual recommended daily allowance is 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of weight, which for most people would equal about anywhere between 40 and 60 grams of protein per day, when I've seen estimates that tell you to get even less than that, closer to maybe 0.66 grams of protein per kilogram of weight. Then of course milk has always touted its calcium benefits, which is understandable. Milk is one of the highest sources of calcium you can get, but according to the Osteoporosis Foundation, most people only really need about 1,000 to 1,300 milligrams of calcium a day. And you can easily find that in dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, fruits, and vegetables. Versus milk, where you're gonna get about 300 to 350 milligrams per serving, and they're telling you to drink about 3 glasses of milk a day. Then you start combining that in with all the other stuff you eat, you get too much calcium. And too much calcium has been linked to different things like bone fractures, heart disease, and even death. Yet people who drink more milk have shown higher rates of bone fractures, especially when the milk is drank in your childhood and teenage years. What we're doing is we're taking milk from female cows, and the only way that we can take the milk from these female cows is they have to be lactating after giving birth. So we make them give birth, and immediately we take the baby calf away from the mother cow. So she's just lactating, and we're using the time while she's lactating to get all the milk out of her. Then once all the milk's out of her, what do? We gotta get her impregnated again. So in order to get the cows impregnated, what somebody has to do is we have to keep the cows in a little stable called a rape rack. Who wouldn't want to be inside the loving confines of a rape rack? Personally, I call that a nice Saturday night. What happens then is one of the farmers comes up, takes his arm, puts it deep inside the cow's rectum to position the uterus so that it's in the right spot, so an instrument can be inserted into the cow's vagina and thus used to impregnate the cow. It takes about 4 to 6 years for the cow to be fully spent which means that it's been impregnated and milked enough to where it's not capable of doing that anymore. So then after that, the cow is sent off to slaughter, where then it becomes a delicious hamburger or a steak. And this wouldn't be a huge issue, except for the fact that cows are actually supposed to live for 25 years, not 4 to 6. So really, this is just full-on torture, rape, and murder. Milk is not made for human consumption. Milk comes from a mother cow to give to her baby calves, to make them grow at about 2 pounds per day. That's 40 times faster than how a human child grows. Along with the fact that naturally cow's milk is supposed to make the baby grow, you have all these hormones, you have antibiotics in the cow, which is making it grow even faster. And this is the whole thing with the dairy industry. Why is the government paying for the milk? Why are they so desperate to get milk out there? Why not make awareness of drinking more water or of getting away from animal products? Why are they're losing millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars every single year paying dairy farmers to get more dairy? Why do they put it out there? Maybe it's because you get more dairy out there and you have more of these physical ailments. Of course the government knows this stuff. If I'm on the internet and I can find these scientific studies, you better believe that government scientists and doctors also have access to the studies and are doing everything they can to not put it out there, because this is what keeps the healthcare machine going. Sick care. People developing type 1 diabetes, developing kidney ailments or Parkinson's or cancer or diabetes or heart disease. These all keep the sick care machine moving. These all keep the pharmaceuticals pumping more pills into the system. This keeps the emergency room doctors. This keeps the lights in the hospitals open. This keeps the demand for people to spend more money on more bullshit supplements that they don't need. All you gotta do is stop drinking milk. Stop thinking that milk does a body good. It does your body nothing but bad. There's nothing good about milk unless you're eating cookies. Just go get yourself a nice glass of almond milk. And if you don't trust the almond milk you buy in the store, go and make your own. Go get a thing of almonds, put it in your blender, get a cheesecloth, wring it out, make some delicious almond milk. It's super easy to do. Stop thinking that you have to only drink milk because they're lying to you, dude. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what your history with dairy products are, if you drink milk, if you love nut milks. I want to hear from you guys. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share the video with your friends. Don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel as well. I love you, a-holes. Holistic out.